Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is Wednesday, September 8th, 12:28 p.m. here in the Arizona desert. Check out BitcoinDailyView.com. Got more for you there. All right, looking at Coin 360, we're beginning to see some green today. BTC's in the green, Ethereum's in the green, Solid's in the green, not doing too bad at all today. Algo, definitely a bit of a rocket ship to Pluto, very, very volatile today. This is just looking at the past hour. All right. The big Bitcoin dip, we all know what happened. We probably noticed. And in general, we tend to figure out what happened a little while after. Willy Woo, he mentions here, I think I may have found the culprit, even though open interest was crazy high. Spot margin borrowing was also peaking, lending up to the crash. Both markets combined created enough deleveraging power to flush price. Margin longs on spot markets unwound as much as derivatives. So, it does look like ultimately a bit of a long squeeze. Now, if we look at Will Clemente, cool character, he mentions yesterday was driven by leveraged derivatives, not underlying investor activity. Broader supply dynamics only strengthened. While price was down yesterday, exchange balances minus 4,674 BTC, long-term investors holdings plus 9,664 BTC. Anyway, a liquid supply plus 19,760. So in general, he does break this down even further. Meanwhile, futures open interest got wiped out, funding rates went negative, and leverage ratio got wiped out. Investor activity strengthened, plus leverage speculators wiped equals healthy cleansing. I like the way he puts that. It was a cleansing. So pretty much massive, long squeeze. And as the on-chain analysis, like by Willy Woo and Will Clemente, look at it, it all becomes very, very apparent. People just got too darn greedy with that leverage towards the long side. And let's face it, when that happens, I also think exchanges don't want to end up covering that. Somebody's going to have a big old conference call with some of their bros at other exchanges and who knows what, and they're going to dump it. So really, when you're riding high, you're going to get dumped. When you're riding low, you're going to get pumped. Anyway, it was easy enough, I think, to intuitively kind of see this was at least possible to happen. So anyway, that said, let's rock. All right, spot trading volume last 24 hours taking a big dump. I like to see it above 30,000, and it is. It's at 45,000 for spot trading volume on Binance, down 30% last 24 hours, but it is at 45,000. Well, I'm sorry, 45 billion. And as you can see, the 7-day graph here, it was pumping, and then boom, it just dumped. So good. We got enough spot trading volume for a healthy market, even though it is dropping. Looking at derivatives to check out what futures doing. I like to see it above 70 billion for a good day. It's at 112 billion, down 31% last 24 hours. So even though a lot of longs got wrecked, they ain't giving up. Maybe they're all shorts now. Anyway, with that said, Bitcoin trading volume explicitly across the big exchanges is 6.4 billion. We need about 3 billion for the market to be on. 6 billion, not bad. You can move there. 3.3 billion on Binance, and good. Coinbase is over a billion at 1.3 billion. So good to go. We got enough volume rocking. So the market's definitely been volatile, but volume is happening on spot and futures. Looking at longs versus shorts on Binance, 64% long, 35% shorts. So as for Bitcoin, definitely a bit of a long bias there. Looking at Ethereum, 64% long, 35% short. So both Bitcoin and Ethereum have a long bias on Binance. All right, looking at the daily chart. I'm sorry, this computer's about to die. I'm doing this video. Hopefully it doesn't get choppy on you. It's scheduled for a reboot after this. All right, daily chart for Bitcoin. We have managed to wick below, but we are still just holding above that 200 moving average on the daily. We really want to keep that. As we all know, the MACD has turned negative on the daily. That sucks ass. It would not surprise me if we can't get this tangent of the daily MACD to turn positive. I could see us even bouncing off 40K. It could happen. That would be the 314 moving average on the dailies. But so far, we have wicked below the 200 moving average, the white one here on the daily, but we have not broken below it and stayed there. So let's see if we get a bounce today. It's looking positive. Let's look again at the daily chart. This is the 50 moving average and the 100 moving average. We've stayed above the 100 moving average. Also, the white line here is the, make sure I'm telling you the right thing here. Yes, the white moving average here is the 50 moving average. So we have wicked below that slightly, but we're actually finding support there above the 50 moving average, and we are staying, of course, above the 100 moving average. So daily chart, we are definitely in dangerous territory, but so far Bitcoin is staying above important moving averages on the daily. We just need to get this daily MACD tangent to turn towards the positive. Looking at a 4-hour chart for Bitcoin, we are hanging out in locations where we have had previous support and resistance in the chart. So this is a 4-hour chart, and of course we are below the 200 moving average right now, the white moving average, but we are also above the 314 moving average. We're kind of ranging between them. Ranging between the 200 and the 200 moving average and 314 moving average. When you're ranging in between, well, at least you're not below them. But anyway, we're not holding above the 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart. That's not super rocking. But as you can see, Bitcoin is basically bouncing between these two areas of support and resistance in the chart. And it has not gone below the lower one, and it certainly is only wicked below the 314 moving average. So in general, Bitcoin is holding in there, trying to find a place of support to continue sideways and maybe, hopefully, make a bounce. Unless you're shorting, but I really wouldn't short or put a lot of confidence in a long right now either. But as you can see, this spot here, this is right around 46,200, 46,300. Definitely have previous support and resistance there. And if we go a little bit lower, we have previous support and resistance at around 44,600. So right now we're kind of ranging in between those two, but ranging more to the upside. Just need to get above that 200 moving average in the 4-hour chart, and I'll be feeling a lot better for immediate price action. Let's look at a 45-minute chart right here. And as you can see, I did a Fibonacci sequence here, and from recent low to recent high, we've gone right back to the recent low, and we're struggling to stay above that recent low. Let's see how it goes. Looking at the indicators here, squeeze indicators beginning to show some positive movement on the 45-minute chart. Directional index is still in the red, but as you can see, it is beginning to trail off and lessen. ADX is really high, but it does not really matter because it gets high when you pump or when you dump. But so right now it's kind of irrelevant. But directional index is beginning to turn positive. Squeeze indicator is squeezing towards positive. KRI is in the green, but just barely. Stochastic RSI. Come on, stochastic RSI, open for me. Yeah, it's definitely a bit overbought and trending towards the negative. Lazy bear wave trend oscillator is definitely showing that we're showing a slightly positive move upwards. So anyway, with everybody, 45-minute chart, this whole darn thing is undecisive. I'm just going to wait to see what happens. Could we go lower? It's really possible. Let's see what happens. But what I can say is Ethereum, 45-minute chart, indicators look a lot like BTCs. Let's look at Ethereum on, it dropped below the 200 and the 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart. Let's look at the 4-hour chart here. On a 4-hour chart, it's looking a little bit better. As you can see, it's slightly wicked below the 200 moving average, but now it's moving off of it, and the indicators are definitely turning towards the positive on the 4-hour chart. So looking at a 4-hour chart for Ethereum versus USDT, I would say it's kind of probably performing a little bit better than Bitcoin as far as a bounce back. As a matter of fact, let's look at Bitcoin on a 4-hour chart with all the fancy indicators, and you can see, yeah, it's struggling between the 200 and the 200 moving average and the 314 moving average. Indicators are, well, not so positive. Looks like it's kind of turning up. So we'll see. I personally think Bitcoin will move up from now, but it's going to find a little bit of resistance on the 4-hour chart here when it tries to get it back above the 200 moving average. And on the 45-minute chart, ultimately it's a lot of volatility and a bit dismal. It needs to push back to at least like 50K to get above that 200 moving average there. But the indicators do show a bit of perkiness. Anyway, volatile AF for Bitcoin and drug Ethereum with it. If I had to guess who's going to make a move first and continue moving up, as long as Bitcoin doesn't massively go potty, I would say Ethereum is where I'm going to be sticking some cash in to make some money. All right, Solaris or I should say Solana versus USDT, making a move right now. Indicators are positive, but a little risky. This thing's definitely been volatile. I myself am going to not catch this wave up, and I didn't catch this wave up. I think we'll see a retrace from here. So not quite ready to get into Solana. Solana versus BTC. Basically the same thing. I did make some dough off this the other day, but right now not feeling confident. But I do like to see some alts like Solana that are staying above the 200 moving average right now, looking strong, dipping and pumping with Bitcoin, but not quite just giving up so completely like Bitcoin did, and basically so did Ethereum. Although I think Ethereum will recover quicker. Looking at Algo. Algo is mad. It's just doing pumping and dumping like crazy. Its chart looks pretty darn good right now. So if I wanted to do a trade of Algo versus USDT, it's a tight scalp. I'd be careful. But it does look like with the indicators here, it's probably going to continue up. I'm kind of curious about this. Do we got an Algo versus BTC? Can we trade that? Let's see. Yes. Oh, you know what? You can even do it on Binance. Jeez, let's check it out. Maybe we can send Grandma a little tip. You know, Grandma, do this. All right, she can log into pro.coinbase.com and make some mad money. All right, Algo versus BTC. This chart is nice. Directional index is in the green. ADX is in a nice spot. KRI is popping up in the greens. Stochastic RSI is way in that beautiful buy zone, trending up. Wave turn oscillator by Lazy Bear, beginning to move up, looking not too bad. I'm kind of digging it. So honestly, Algo versus BTC. You know, I might try to score me a little bit of sweet Bitcoin. I might just get in on this one after I sign off here. I'll let you guys know how it went. Algo, it's after some money recently. I like seeing it. I like seeing coins like a Solara and Algo that aren't just like blowing friggin' just going potty, giving up because Bitcoin's volatile. Let's look at one more. And sorry, this thing is so slow. Shiba Inu versus USDT. Shiba Inu versus USDT just got excessive heat warning. That little alarm you heard. Excessive heat warning in Arizona here in the Sonoran Desert. No kidding. Imagine that. It's like living on Mars right now. We're having a end of season, end of summer heat wave. It always happens. The blast furnace kicks on one more time to try to friggin' I don't know, incinerate the cactus or something like that before the end of the summer. UV cranks to 12. It pretty much it's insane right now. With that said, Shiba Inu versus USDT. Shiba Inu got an announcement. There was an announcement. It's going to go on Coinbase, or it might even be listed on Coinbase already. Or is it Coinbase already? I don't know. Anyway, Shiba Inu, Coinbase listing, big excitement. And as you can see, it totally pumped on that. Retraced, but it looks like this chart is not too bad looking. I know it retraced kind of hard. Let's see if after this initial pump, we can actually get on the 45-minute chart here, get back above that 200 moving average, bounce off it, and keep moving. Let's look at a 45-minute chart. Shiba Inu is a cool project. I like that they actually have SHIB swap. You know, it kind of came out of the gate and it's doing stuff. So basically, it's been below that 4-hour 200 moving average and 314 moving average. You can see where it cranked here on that news, and it even went way above the 200 moving average. Let's see. I mean, if SHIB could actually, by the end of the day, or the next 24 hours, 12 hours, if this, let's say the next 12 hours or so, if this thing could actually, find support above the 4-hour 200 moving average and the 45-minute 200 moving average, and then continue up, I'm definitely going to up my stake in SHIB because I think it's cool. Anyway, I'm also going to start to, when I do this, and I'm trying to get more consistent and do it daily. It's been very, very, very busy with good stuff, insanely busy. I'm going to start throwing out there some Uniswap, or I call it like Unishitcoin stuff that you might want to be aware of that is making some moves, because pure speculation, always do your own research. This is not financial advice, but I'm going to start throwing out some rad shit coins that might just make you some bank. Anyway, so with that said, thanks for tuning in. This week, gosh, if we can just get the heat down a little bit so my AC works in the garage, I'll have my camera back up and have a much better screen. We can look at things much closer and faster. But until then, and that will happen, remember, for every Bitcoin Satoshi, you own a piece of shit banker cries. Take care.